to this week's episode of Diesel and the Beard.
Welcome back to episode 8 of Diesel and the Beard, featuring yours truly, the Beard, aka the Commissioner, and
The Wiz, a.k.a. The Wiz.
aka Diesel.
Diesel. Diesel and The Wiz.
Nice.
Diesel and The Wiz. Diesel and The Wiz.
Did it.
So,
Diesel and
kind
The
of
Wiz.
a bummy Thursday. No Thursday night action tonight. We got a little Tuesday taste, which was fun, but that Thursday really breaks the week up for me, It's like, okay, you get your Monday night, 2 dead nights, then you get your Thursday taste, and then tomorrow's Friday, and then so kind of goes from there, but now we're waiting through the Wednesday, the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, and so that's no fun.
No fun.
I got pounded in KFFL news, and we got a full docket again. We got
Full
lots of stuff to
docket.
talk about. We're
Full
gonna
docket.
bring on our first guest host, Matt Reynolds, aka the Gremlin, or
aka Reynolds.
And it was gonna be Silva. Silva had to work today, and we ended up doing the pod earlier than usual. So Reynolds jumped in last minute. We'll probably just kind of ask him how he thinks the league's going.
And I want to give a little breakdown for the fans at home. Reynolds, we've been friends with Reynolds since roughly 2006, when he would drive from Belleville to play Madden in the franchise with us.
Yep.
Reynolds has played fantasy football for a really long time, but he joined the KFFL last year as an expansion team, and he was a Jets fan. No, sorry. He was a Browns fan, and now he's since become a Adam Gase and the New York Jets fan.
That's probably something we should talk to him about, because that's gonna.
How much time do we have with him?
I don't know. I mean, I told him to be 10, 15 minutes, but if he wants to talk longer, he can talk longer. This is, we'll just go with it.
Before you get him on, I want to give the fans at home just an idea of what we'll be doing today, and then let's just jump right into it. Does that sound all right?
Yep. I got him waiting. So.
All right, so we've got a week 5 recap. We're going to do another Grade the Grabs bi-week hell edition. We've got a question from the mailroom. Dorian's going to give us Bet365 Sunday edition with the Wiz. We're going to preview week 6 in the KFFL. We had some juicy trades we're going to review, and there's a couple huge NFL storylines I'd like to touch on before we close.
Yeah. So lots of stuff to touch on. Let's just bring Reynolds right in now. We'll see. I don't know how he's doing for time or
Let's bring him in.
how long he's got. So let me bring him in. Ronaldinho?
Reynolds. Where's he at? Let me at him.
Reynolds and the Wiz.
Well, while we wait for him,
Yeah.
Dan Quinn fired in Atlanta.
I'm surprised it took that long, to be honest. I said this to you last week. How the fuck does Dan Quinn have his job still after blowing 3 massive leads?
He was blowing Arthur Blank, probably. I mean, honestly.
Arthur Blank just doesn't strike me as a football guy,
No.
Jerry Jones, that guy
yeah.
was watching football way before he had fucking our team.
Al Davis back in the day.
Those guys were. But Arthur Blank does he look like he was? He's just like, whatever. This is an investment. Oh, let's see how Dan does. And
He looks like the grandpa gremlin from the Gremlins movie. He just comes down with his fingers, and he's like, I'm going to just go make sure Dan Quinn's not sleeping.
who's that bad guy from the cartoons that's tall and lanky with the mustache?
Jafar?
No, he's
Luigi?
Hey, Reynolds! He's in the car today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Walmart groceries to pick up, and Jackson's with the parents today, so got a couple free minutes to jump on and chat. Thank you for
Sweet.
having a guest.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were just talking about Dan Quinn getting fired while we were waiting for you to come on, and we're gonna get into some NFL news because there's lots going on. But I think more importantly, I guess we should grill you on the KFFL stuff because me and Abe are obviously biased. We've been through it from the get-go. Sometimes when you're in something, you don't see it from a good outside perspective.
Objective.
Yeah. So, I guess you're like fresh blood. So, we're going to kind of ask you like, who's real deal? Who worries you in terms of a team? Who do you think's overproducing, underproducing? We'll go through questions like that. So I guess first thing, like, what do you think of the league just in general? Just an overview, the KFFL compared to other fantasy leagues you've been in.
Overall, it's one of the leagues I'm pretty stoked to be in. I was actually an outside spectator in the group chat in the Facebook group for like 2 years, right? So
2 years.
Remember, yeah.
I've got some experience with a few people, and like there's a couple people, and I mean I hate to like bash somebody, but Liam wasn't great for the league in my opinion.
Sure.
I like the guy; he's a great guy, but I mean he was free money. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Liam I think he was a fan, and then he just got so busy so quickly and honestly, I don't think the KFFL was his primary league.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
And when it's 8 guys as primary and it's 2 guys have it as their secondary or third league, it's really hard because I have secondary leagues. My Yahoo league, I don't give a shit about. You could come to me at any point and I'll blow my team up for picks. I'll just do dumb shit because I don't care about it. But this league I do care about. So I think, like, to be fair to Liam, it wasn't his point of interest. So,
but it's good that you identified that. I mean, Liam's gone now, and Jake took that team over, and lo and behold, what's going on?
Jake's got an idea of what he's doing, definitely. Let's see if as a rookie he can make it to the finals. I mean, I know I like to toot my horn a bit, but first year jumped in and jumped into that streaming QB thing, which no one else really had a thought process on. Got lucky with Dak,
Yeah.
That's true, man. That's very true. I mean, just so everyone knows, Reynolds' first year in the KFFL was 2019. And he went to the finals, and if it wasn't for an Aaron Jones blockbuster touchdown in the finals, I think we're looking at a rookie champion.
Okay, so we're also going to talk about just a little bit of common courtesy during a championship matchup. With like 10 minutes left in the game. I mean, not a great look.
I hate that. And what we're talking about is the early congratulations, which I was probably one of the first people to start doing constantly.
He was.
I was actually the one that started it. And
you still do it, bro.
I don't. I actually don't. And you can look that up.
Was it Adam this week? Who did I play last week? Who's the bad guy? Chad?
Chad.
Tried it this week, and then all of a sudden I'm like, watch Thielen and Kirk hook up, and all of a sudden it was a close game.
See,
just about
I think what I was always doing in that position was just trying to deal with the loss right away. Like, you truly believe you're fucked.
100%.
And you don't want to wait for the time to click down to 0 and be like, congratulations, man. You beat
There was no ill intent in what I did.
You're just fucking mad, and you go ahead and you just say, congrats, man. Good fucking win. And then miracles always seem to happen. But now it's become like it's like a jinx. It's a bad jinx. Well, I actually think it should be punishable in the league. I'm being serious about that. I'm not just saying like, oh, we should punish it. I hate it that much, and I don't do it anymore in any fantasy league. I despise people that do it to me because it's just really bad fucking karma, etiquette.
Bad juju.
Everything. So, I feel bad that you went through that, Reynolds.
That's okay.
But hey, I've lost 2 championships to, I think it was 1.26 of a point combined. So I know where you're coming from with getting there and tasting it, but
that's okay. I mean, hopefully Kelsey's that missing piece. We'll see.
Well, and that's what part of our show segment to close down the episode is usually a trade review. But I figure since we've got you here, Reynolds, we might as well just bring it out. So the trade, just for everyone at home that we're talking about. So Reynolds moved Darius Slayton to me straight up for Damian Harris pre-game on Sunday morning, and that's just because of I had issues with COVID. And so, I did my research, and that was, I think I had mentioned it to you, Reynolds, but it was pretty much spot on from a Fantasy Pros Dynasty trade value.
We'll point out that I offered you Cooks who went off, right?
Yeah, I just have Fuller. I couldn't justify it, but I mean, let's not talk about Chase Claypool's points that I
mean
left. That's heartbreaking, man. But
I'm pretty
anyways,
sure his price went up. I think
yeah,
so.
I think he's untouchable now, unfortunately. So
you don't have Claypool, do you?
so basically, I don't know if you know this, Dorian, but like pre-game, I had 2 trades going. I had 3, but 2 of them, one of them was Claypool. I went for Claypool or Slayton, and Reynolds said I'm on the Slayton deal straight up, Damian Harris. And you know, Chad, he was trying to get greasy on me, and he fucking was like, "Well, I need a pick upgrade," and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Well, that was a dumb move by me.
Yeah, that would have been
your game.
big boy.
Claypool goes
I
for
think-
3 receptions this week.
I mean, he averaged, I think, 2 red zone targets a game or something silly. I mean, it wasn't. Anyways, so the trade that's in question though is not that one. That one was a compound to set up this one, and so from the sounds of it, you feel like this is helping you in the arms race.
I feel like
And so you basically sent Damian Harris and round 1 and a round 2 for next year for Travis Kelce and a pair of 4s. And so everyone knows, I mean, those 4s were his last 2 picks, were they not?
Yeah.
So you really did really well in both cases. You got decent picks back in the 4s, and then you got Travis Kelce. And so let's just talk about your thought process behind that trade, Reynolds.
I had my hat in the ring on that deal, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
there was mention that there was another deal going on. And I'm like, this is the best I can do. And I'll be honest, I probably wasn't getting the deal done without the trade we made, AJ, simply because I didn't really have much else youth. I think Rojo was probably the next choice, and giving up Rojo in that deal would have been just too much.
No sense,
Right?
yeah.
So it's one of those, like, I add a piece with a bench piece and 2 picks, which I feel like is kind of a fair thing when someone's tanking, right? He's now just fucking loaded.
Oh, he's on a full blown
He gets in a
dumpster fire
difficult situation because it's hard. I've been there. When your picks are so low, you can almost not get deals done. Because
Yeah, but he can steal some keepers. And again, I don't want to give too much playbook stuff away, but like just for an idea of like long-term thought process on some of this stuff, he can buy a keeper next year. I'm going to have 6 or 7 keeper-worthy guys, and I can get some stuff back.
Sure.
And then he can get that, 10th round pick that's going to be a kicker because no one's wanting to draft a kicker.
And that's where you take your or your defense even if you wanted to get fancy,
Yeah, we talked about this. My draft ended in the 4th this year, so I was forced to take. I was actually not the first off the board with kickers and defense at 4.
Valdez was
in there, but
psychopath.
but it gets hard from here on out because anyone else that doesn't have. So here, my deal, I think I'm too Packer heavy because Rodgers. Now I got Aaron Jones. He was just the only top 5 running back that I could get. I got Lazard on the bench, and now I got Tanyan, who I think is a legitimate tight end in this league.
Yeah.
So I don't want to roll into games with 4 Packers. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do a Tanyan for Kelce deal. Craig's a Packers fan, but it just came down to picks. I had already gave him my picks for Aaron Jones, so I would have to send Tanyan for Kelce pretty much straight up because I would have to a 4-5, and his 2 picks were 4. His last 2 were 4-4, so I just couldn't get anything done. So I knew I wasn't going to get Kelce, but I think it's a really good move on your behalf, for sure.
Reynolds, you were dealing with the Zach Ertz Houdini as well, right?
This guy, come on. No Goddard. They have no receivers. I'm like, oh, I'm set this year. Kelsey's going to be great. No, he's not even starting in 16-team leagues. Come on.
Who, Ertz? Ertzy boy?
Okay,
he's like a 19th, 20th tight end.
How?
He went into the GM's office and started pounding his fist on the fucking desk.
Well,
and they
if
were
he
like,
has a good
bye.
week and someone needs a tight end, come see me because Zach Ertz is safely on the bench. Yeah. It's not going to cost a lot.
So let me read your team for the people that don't know here quickly. I'm going to read your starters for this week, although I know there's subject to change. But you're rolling with Cousins, Mark Ingram, Rojo. You got Thielen, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt. Your kickers are Bullock and Vikings D. And then on your bench,
Chris Carson's on bye.
Yeah.
And then on your bench, you got Cam Newton, Cole Beasley, Ertz, Bridgewater, Cooks, Carson. And then
why do you have 3 quarterbacks, man?
Jordan.
What are we missing here?
Just came off the bye week or off the COVID list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really know if Cam is starting this week for me or if Cousins is starting this week. Because Cousins has a plus matchup, but he also has the ability to throw 16 passes in a week.
Yeah.
And fuck that.
Yep.
I don't know. Are we allowed to swear? Are we?
What's the
man, okay. Get out of here! Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. And Teddy Two Gloves. I mean, I got chirped for him a little bit, but he's got back-to-back 30-point weeks.
I was gonna pick him up last week.
Maybe they're figuring him out a little bit.
No, him versus Atlanta was the play versus instead of Joe Burrow. So you actually had Bridgewater, dropped him, and now you've gone back to him again.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna live with either Newton or Cousins, whoever stays on my team after this week.
Yeah.
Most likely Newton. So I mean, if someone wants Kirk Cousins now, shoot me a pick, and I'm going to use this as some self-promotion here.
Oh yeah, do
Loudon,
it.
the guy you're playing this week.
Loudon, yeah, he's suffered a big one, eh?
Yeah, he's rolling with a Gardner.
Ooh. Oof.
I don't like that. Although
I
love
playing
Gardner's
Detroit,
weapons, though.
playing
I
Detroit.
mean, I think Chark's out for a bit, but this Levishka kid looks good.
He's probably got some mean denim cutoff shorts.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's. So we talked about the Kelsey trade. We talked about how you like the league. Who do you see as a serious contender? Like, who do you think is the guy? Like, if you were to guess at a finals matchup now, you can be
That's the
biased
question.
and say yourself. I don't care.
I mean, finals matchup, if AJ, in my opinion, is still the favorite, as long as Lamar gets back to putting up 30-plus point games.
Yeah.
If Lamar turns into a mid-team QB, or like a mid-teen or a low single numbers QB.
The Red Rocket. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't sleep.
I mean, but you've got the thing is, I look at teams that have people that can just go off any week. I try to do the same thing with my team. Mike Evans might have an 8-point week. He might have a 28-point week. Who knows?
Yes, the upside's
right?
there.
You like the boom and bust guys.
Lamar's that guy. Lamar can put up 50 any week. I think it was interesting to see if we talk the other way. I like Cody. We've all been friends for years.
Yeah, we were saying that actually.
I think Cody still has a lot to learn when it comes to fantasy, kind of the more ins and outs of stuff. And I think it sucks for him that there was a bit of a chink in the armor this week with Josh Allen not looking great.
Yeah.
Now, it was a Tuesday matchup. Things got messed up and stuff, but I mean, Tennessee came into that game looking great, and Buffalo didn't.
To be fair, Cody has had fucking nothing but explosions out of Allen.
Yeah.
He's bound to get a little bit of a dip. Like, you need to. I mean, I took
here's some numbers.
Burrows this week, and
here's some numbers, Dorian. In year 3, Josh Allen climbed from a 59% accuracy to a 69% accuracy, and his average depth of target went up 2 yards. So he increased his air yards and he increased his efficiency.
And more accurate.
That doesn't happen, but it did here. So you got to ask yourself, is this a sustainable jump or not? And so on Tuesday, we saw him look completely, he looked like deer in headlights. And so for me, I'm not actually worried about if we're talking about 4-1 teams, my brother's the most fraudulent 4-1 team next to the Chicago Bears. But like you're saying, Reynolds, at any given point, and that's not a chirp, I think that's just what it is. How do you go from scoring 160 points to 80 points?
So
you're not going to see my team put up 80 points.
Let me unpack this a little bit more. So Reynolds' first thought was AJ is a serious contender for another championship, at least appearance. We'll call it a championship.
And I'll name 2 or 3 more people as well. Like I would say, Dorian, your team is there, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
And I would say the combo owner duo is a scary team.
Silva Nielsen, they look very scary, especially if that trade they just made, which is massive, pans out. We'll talk a little bit later on that in the podcast. So what you were saying, Cody, were you saying that Cody is fraudulent? Is that what you were
I wouldn't
going
say fraudulent. I would just say I think that team has more downside than it might look like on paper. I mean, you're loaded up on Buffalo, and Buffalo becomes a very not fun place to play in the winter when we do our championship.
I've said this to Cody.
I mean,
Buffalo in the winter.
If we're talking about, are we going to throw deep balls in a fucking blizzard? Probably not.
No.
So
yeah, I mean, no, it's true. I mean, when you have to call the fans in to shovel off the field before you can play, what do you think your quarterback's going through? They're changing their cleats around. It's
oh my god!
It's really without talking shit. I'm not trying to put Cody down, but the Buffalo's
in the blizzard is what I was picturing.
Buffalo's the worst outdoor stadium in the league by far, right? Like, there's nowhere worse than Buffalo. Maybe Lambeau at times.
I was going to say Wisconsin in January playoff ball, but
December
is Buffalo.
Gets that it's cold as hell.
Yeah,
Buffalo
dry,
gets
cold.
The precipitation off the water.
It's wet, it's raining, it's windy, there's tornadoes. That being said, AJ's 4-1, and Lamar hasn't even came close to putting up what he's capable of putting up.
Devontae hasn't played since week 1.
And Cody's 4-1, and Allen's playing like he's out of his fucking mind. Yeah. So if I had to be on one side of that, I would be I'm 4-1 and underproducing. Yeah, okay, I'll take that versus Cody's got to maintain this pace, which I think would be hard for anyone. So,
And I mean, we saw a lot of people, myself, a couple other teams, all kind of upgrade this week to fill in some starting holes. So
You mentioned the arms race, Reynolds. I wanted
Yeah.
to touch on that before you had to go because we've seen the major players like Dorian. We'll talk about your big trade. You brought in Aaron Jones. Now we've seen Reynolds bring in Travis Kelce. Jake brought in CMC earlier this year. I brought in Derrick Henry earlier this year. So you've got, and then obviously that three-piece Minnesota that Sylvan and Nielsen brought in. I mean, you know what, Dorian, do you mind if we pivot here? I want to hear what Reynolds has to say about that trade. So the trade was Drake, Mixon, Juju, 8, 9, 10, 11 for Travis Kelce, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, I want to say that I was trying to get a hold of Mixon for a long time. I have like probably 4 major leagues that I play consistently in. This is the only one I don't have Mixon in. And I didn't even get a call back of like, hey, Mixon's on the block. And like, I've talked a few times of like, hey, like if he comes up, let me know.
I've heard this.
I think Craig was overwhelmed.
So do I.
The clear-cut seller, and I know I was messaging him. I know Silva's relentless. He probably just picked up the phone and called him, to be honest. Reynolds was kicking around. So, he could have been dealing with 4 or 5 other offers, and that gets hard. That being said, I was going after Mixon, and then I really broke down his data, and it's not that nice. He's got one
he has
massive
the most
week.
snaps of any player on offense, of any running back.
But he's not putting up points.
Yeah, it's a young team. They don't have a great offensive line. Mixon's a very high risk, high reward guy.
Do you forget last year? Do you know what he did last year?
It was the last
Does he
half
turn
of the
into
season,
the RB2 or flex consistently for Sylvan Nelson?
He did the exact same thing last year. He was absolute trash, still getting the opportunities. I think he was recovering from an injury last year. But anyways, I believe it was week 7 on. He was dominant, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's October 15th, and he's
the
had.
problem for me is I was comparing him against Jones.
Right.
Well, there's no comparison.
Exactly. So
and I think you paid a lot for Jones, but I think you paid less for Jones than you would have had to for Mixon. I feel like
on a standalone, you mean?
It was closer. It was closer for the price and value than I felt it was worth. And to be honest with you, I think Craig gave me a great deal on Jones.
Oh, it's sick.
Because if you look at the other 2 guys above, if I had to go after a Kamara or a Delvin Cook, 1 through 5 is just the starting point. Then I got to give a running back probably.
It doesn't even get you in the door if you're not saying 1 through 5. If you don't flash 1 through 5, bye.
So when I go 1, 3, 3, and the picks back aren't shit, I was like, wow, that's actually not bad. And I still have a little bit. And I mean, it could prove super useful this week with fucking Melvin Gordon, and drinking red wine and speeding around Denver. The fucking guy.
Was it red wine?
Yeah, he said he went to his friends for dinners. He went for a friend's house for dinner, had some wine, and him and his wife drove home, and that was it. Not to mention,
man,
what fucking cop in the state of Colorado is arresting their fucking leading running back?
The guy probably owns Lindsay in fantasy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's what happened.
Oh my God.
That'd be like Cody being a cop. Fuck you, Gordon. Get on the ground.
You're going to have to get in the ground, son.
Jeez. So anyways, circling back here then. Did you have any other questions for Reynolds? I don't know how you're doing for time, Reynolds, but
I should probably head in and get some stuff done here, and I know you guys got a lot more stuff.
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for jumping on, Reynolds. I think that we've definitely got some unique perspectives from you, and so anytime you want to come back, you just let us know.
Sounds good. I'll do it from work next time. Get paid for it.
Yeah. Any quick last tidbits you want to plug in? You got any Bet365 bets you like this week?
Man, it's been a weird week. I'm betting Dodgers and Astros, both to kind of keep the series going. But football, I haven't looked at anything yet.
Okay. Yes, that's fair. All right. Any good Kudo deals coming up you want to plug?
I don't work for Kudo anymore. Come on, dude.
Really? I had no idea who you work for.
Oh, yeah, no, I manage Freedom in Belleville now.
Freedom. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
always got
great deals? Okay.
Yeah, some decent ones.
Looking to get me a new iPhone soon, so.
I'll hook you up with we got some friends and family codes that come up every once in a while.
All right.
Anyone in the league, need a deal.
I want the 12 Pro Max, bro. 12 Pro Max.
Okay, man. Thanks for popping in, and we will talk to you soon.
Cheers.
See you, buddy.
All right. Well, that was good. let's jump right over to the week 5 recap then. So the first thing we'll get to here, I guess, is yours, Diesel. So I had you struggled against the dynamic duo, but and I guess I missed the boat on this pre-match, but you were without Rogers on bye, Julio, Melvin Gordon on bye, Aaron Jones on bye, Robert Tonyan on bye. So I mean, you didn't obviously hit the standard that you're normally accustomed to this season, but I think that there was more than a reason as to why.
To be honest, I'm surprised I put up fucking 80 points, to be honest with you. Because
I mean, Burrow let you down in a big way, man. 4 points.
I don't know if he did. I said I'm just going to go with him because I have to. I was going to pick up Teddy Bridgewater and playing Atlanta, which would have made the match tighter. I don't think it would have made me win. I'm running with, I pick up Nelson Aguilar like 5 minutes before game time, start him. But yeah, I don't know. I can't win. I was second last team in the league last year. Like I was the second worst team in the league. This year's my rebound year. I can't win a game without my QB1, my RB1, my RB2, my WR1, my WR3, and my tight end 1. I can't win without 6 starters. So I wasn't expecting to. Silva, well done. You did what you should have. But yeah, that's where I'll leave that. I'm not upset about it. I didn't think I was going to.
Oh, that was kind of what I was thinking too. I mean, you went against one of the league's stalwarts, and you were shorthanded. So I do want to make a comment on your second last finish. I was second last 2 years ago in my second year. So my first year after that, brought home hardware.
Yeah. And I mean,
it can be done, Dorian.
I'm in the conversation.
Absolutely, you are.
I think there's still a deal that needs to get done somewhere, just to kind of give me a little bit. We'll see. I need Julio to get healthy, but so yeah, that's fair assessment. I got pounded. What else are we got looking at?
Loudon and myself both walked the tightrope to win. So he beat Powell, and then I beat Rosie. Rosie was up a good amount, and then I just had to have a Jonnu touchdown and then a couple more Derrick Henry touchdowns, and that helped me. But and then we had Chad over Reynolds, we aforementioned.
Jake blew up.
Jake went back to his winning ways. I think that, this year more than any, scoring's up, yardages are up. So I think that you're going to have more of these splash statement wins. And Jake's basically saying, listen, don't sleep on me. Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
He put up 166 points. So
yeah, good for Jake. I think Jake's got another move in the bag. He usually gets a little restless around this time, and something will happen here. Although I believe he gets McCaffrey back this week. Does he not?
No, I think there's another couple of weeks, but I mean, anyone that I'm just going to pull up his schedule real quick. Anyone that's playing Jake from let's just say from week 7 on, they're going to have to worry. This week he plays Cody. Let's just take a quick peek next week. He's playing Rosie. I mean, this is just like a cakewalk part of the schedule for him. And then he gets yours truly. So, and the week he plays me, he's without Kyler and Chase Edmonds. So hopefully he does, for his sake, get CMC back.
Yeah. I got to play you this week, which I'm not looking forward to after coming off a loss.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that in the preview. I guess we should pivot here, Dorian. So do you want to jump into the grade the grabs?
Sure. Okay.
I'll let you open that one up there.
First grade the grab. We got Craig grabbing the never aging Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Franklin, the turtle gore.
Wow, that was a good one there. I like that.
What do you think about him?
I don't even think that was the best grab out of that backfield. I mean, Michael P. Ryan would have probably been my pick. I gave it a grade of an F. I thought Craig in his current position, like Frank Gore's a guy that if you're you or me and you need a flex guy, and with COVID and buy hell, you go and grab, and he'll give you 3 yards of carry and maybe a touchdown.
Yeah.
But when you're Craig, I mean, how do you not grab P. Ryan? The upside is immense there. Yeah. So based on him picking first, and just so everyone knows, we're going in order of how the waiver unfolded.
Right.
I gave it an F. What do you think?
It's hard. I like Gore as a person because I actually had him on a championship team the one year, and or maybe it was a finals team. I had Frank Gore, and he was very good for me back in San Fran. So I like him.
Back in 2009.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like the grab for Craig unless Craig's just like I need to fill my team with the worst shit possible because I need to lose out and I can't bench starters. Then Gore's a great pickup. But if we're looking at this from a normal perspective, Frank Gore with your first waiver, I don't like it. I'll give
He's
it a
rebuilding.
D-, not quite
Yeah.
enough, but it's a
Yeah.
D- for me. Because Gore's had the opportunity, hasn't looked good yet. It's not like, oh, now Gore's getting it. He's already had it. He's already showed he can't do anything with it. So
It's not going to change. He is who he is at this point of his career, you know?
second one, we had Rose picking up Jeff Smith. You like Jeff Smith?
I personally really like Jeff Smith. I think that he's the second guy in that Jets offense, but he garnered 11 targets last week. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from an opportunity standpoint. And Rose, the only reason, so if Rose hadn't already grabbed him 2 weeks ago and dropped him,
Yeah.
I'd be giving this a B+ or an A-. I give it a C just because he dropped him and he should have dropped someone else. But as a roster addition in a vacuum, I really like it. I think there's a lot of upside.
You think it's a game changer for Rosie?
Well, Rosie's in a transitional phase right now. He's 0-5, but I mean, if you were to look at him compared to King Koopa at 1-4 and Craig at 0-5, and even, you know, some of those 2 and 3 teams, you know, he's got Michael Thomas coming back. He's got Lev Bell going to be signing somewhere. And, you know, so he's complementing his big studs with some of these guys. He put me to fucking coals last week, bro. He put my feet on the coals. Like, I was shaking right up until the end of that game. So, but back to the pick. Well, I gave it a C. What do you give it there, Dio?
I don't like his name. His name just sounds so basic.
Yeah, it is pretty
Jeff
base.
Smith? Like, are you from the Matrix?
I was just gonna say, are you an agent?
Yeah,
That's
I don't mind the
amazing.
pickup. I don't mind the pickup for Rosie. I'm gonna say it's probably a C+, but the real truth of the matter is I don't want any Jets. And
No, same.
I just don't want anything to do with the team. I don't want. So
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes back to the Gore point. Like for me, there's better teams. Get a guy that's going to put up points or be in competitive games. Like these guys, they have a sprained ankle. They'll go out for 3 weeks because no one gives a shit. The team looks just awful. I just don't want any part of the team. But, you know, in terms of just points, he might give Rosie a good flex start once in a while. C+.
Yep, we're in the same range on that
Valdez.
one. I think this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, open this one up, Dorian, because I said this would probably have been a nice alternative. If you didn't like the Jeff Smith pick, this
I would have done
been
this over Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Mike Williams to Valdez. He looked pretty good. Got some targets, 1 or 2 TDs. One or
You got 2.
two.
You got 2.
TDs,
That was one of my bets on the weekend there that I ended up hitting. So
he looked good. I've had Mike Williams before, actually. The problem with him has always been consistency. It's just like 1 week he's got a fucking 80-yard touchdown right off the first play of the game, and other weeks he gets 2 targets and drops 1. So, but a guy like that who can go out and put up a 20-point night for you was worth having on your bench. Yeah.
He's got that upside, man. That's exactly
when you're in deeper leagues, you need that upside on your bench. You can't just have a guy that's churning out like a 4 points every week. Like that's Gus Edwards. He's just like 4 to 6 points a week every week.
Frank Gore, man. Frank Gore.
Yeah. And then, so I would rather have a guy that goes 0-0-26 because if you gamble on the right week, you hit big. But
he's a week winner, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he can be.
Yeah.
B+. I don't know what you had him as, but
I put him through as a B. I think we're right in the same. I said in my notes there that he was a touchdown dependent asset, and I think that you just echoed those thoughts. So
yeah,
I think with Herbert becoming more comfortable throwing the ball downfield, I think that's only going to benefit Mike Williams. And with Keenan Allen out, I don't know how long he'll be out, but that could easily project to be a Mike Williams WR1 pickup.
Yeah,
so
that's
first
true.
team.
That's true. Moving along, Powell picks up Indianapolis defensive and special teams. We normally don't talk about defenses here, but since that's, a week, 5 waiver grab gets the number 2. That's why you don't draft D's early, because every year it changes and every year it's different and you don't know which teams are fucking stepping up.
Folks, if you listen to Dorian and I, if you listen to Diesel and the Beard on a regular basis, you'll understand how we feel about using, draft picks on your kickers and your defense. We've talked about the strategies that we employ, and this is one of the, like Dorian said, one of the driving reasons. COVID forced Cody to drop Indianapolis's D. And here comes Powell, opportune time, number 2 overall defense, and so I give it an A+. I think it was the best. It was tied for the best grab of the week. I mean, we're looking at an asset that he will now employ for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's an easy A for me. When you go out and you get a guy that's in the first, top 3 at their position, or you get in this point, a defense, top 3 defense, week 5 for free.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Won't spend too much time on that. Loudon goes and gets a Preston Williams.
I thought it was solid. I mean, he's going to be he's recovering from an ACL last year. So I think that the more we get into the season, he's a WR2 potentially on that team, but at the end of the day, I gave it a C. I thought that, it wasn't a terrible move, but I don't think it does a whole lot. I think it's a splash play for 1 week for Loudon.
Yeah, he had a big week in week 5, so I could see the appeal. Puts up a 20 burger. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to say that's a C- for me.
We're in the same page there. I don't think we have to go through all of these. I did want to talk about LaMichael Pirine being grabbed by Chad, and it was the last grab. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Chad just has this
doing it.
I don't know, man. This is what I'm saying. I do know. There's 2 things. He's the type of guy that'll take best player available, right? So you got a guy like Craig that's not sent. Craig is definitely not best player available. Rosie's definitely not best player available. These guys are trying to find what the roster needs, and depending on the week, you might be forcing it. And with Chad, he just comes along and he goes, "What's there?"
Yeah.
Oh, LaMichael Pirine.
Yeah.
He's legitimately going to be the scat back for the Jets. But in reality, if he shows up and shows off in any of the downs 1 through 3, it could become his backfield.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wish Chad was easier to trade with, because Chad always ends up with nice little assets. And
him and Powell got into a great little banter fest in the group chat there. I don't know if did you read it? Did you read that, Dorian?
Yeah, I was following along. Yeah, I don't know. Chad he was into the pints for sure.
The Bud Lights. Yeah.
The Bud Heavies probably. No Bud Lights.
Hey, yeah. It was funny because Powell made a comment saying that, you'd probably get more trades done, Chad, if you weren't on everyone's blacklist.
It's true, but Chad's kind of taken the role of the bad guy and kind of gone with it, Razor Ramon, or Scotty Hall. But again, I wish Chad was more open to trading, because he's one of those high volume guys where it's he's always bringing in these good little gems here and there. If he could churn some of those out, and he just always goes for kill shots. If I went to firm for a LaMichael Pirine right now, I already know it's going to cost me at least 2 and something back. And it's not worth that much to me, because again, he's an unknown, but I would love to play with these little bit. Anyways, good job, Chad. AJ, I like your Andy Dalton pickup.
Thanks, man.
People are sleeping on Andy, but he was a fucking starter for a lot of years and a playoff competing quarterback. It's easy to just shit on a guy when a new toy comes to town, but he is very capable to run that offense. Does he give you the dynamic of Dak? No. But
no. No one's going to say that.
It could be throw heavier with Dalton there, especially if they're down in games and their defense is shit and Dalton can sling it. The red fucking rifle BB gun dick, right? That's what he does.
Man, I want to just bring this up because in 2018, he supported one of the most dynamic passing attacks in the league for a good period of time.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just pulling up their receiving stats right now. So receiving wise, we had, let's just see here. Touchdown wise, we had Tyler Boyd and AJ Green with 7 and 6, and then John Ross also had 7. So we had 20 touchdowns thrown by him, and they were evenly split between 3 different players. So when you look at the similarities between that team that Cincinnati fielded and the current iteration of the Cowboys, I mean, you got three guys in Gallup, Brown, and Cooper. They've got sort of their different levels of route running and those types of things. So is he going to throw interceptions? Of course.
Yeah.
But with that team having a terrible defense and that arsenal at his disposal, I actually think that we may see a resurgence for the Red Rocket.
Well, he's also playing for his job.
He absolutely is, man.
He doesn't want to be a backup. It's terrible what happened to Dak, and I wanted to see Dak really go for it this year.
Yep.
But I don't think Andy Dalton in his head was ready to be a backup. And
I mean, how could that be? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think anyone's really ever. He looks good. He didn't look shitty coming into that game cold. So
no.
Anyways, good pickup. Chad, I also like the Travis Fulgham pickup. So you did well twice.
Jesus.
And,
yeah, he did, man. Late.
Cody got Mike Gesicki. I don't mind.
I like
either.
that. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
Good for you, Codes.
He's one of those guys that's bouncing around my other leagues. I can't quite figure it out. I have him in my other league, but then I just saw Ryan Tanya just sitting there, and I was like, okay, I'm doubling down on this kid. So anyways, that moves through the grade the grabs, which was quite an active week.
Huge week.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. And then, I mean, I actually waited because I knew I wasn't going to get any of the guys I want, and I needed to fill out the defense and the special teams. So
I saw yours.
Not worth talking about, really, but there was still more action than what we've just discussed here. So,
yeah.
Moving on.
Let's jump to the mailroom. So we had another question from league stalwart Cody Powell, who, Powell is always actively involved, and so it's nice to get some fresh blood. And so he had sort of a general question, and I'm interested to get your take on this, but he asked, has the league evolved to balanced parity? And he goes, and subsequently has the ownership group also evolved? And he's basically just saying, basically since 2011, is the league more even? And are you seeing an evolution in the ownership groups and how they approach? And, so it's a great question, especially for him being in the league, I believe, since 2013. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit biased for me, obviously, because I have been implementing different things to the league to try and increase league parity for a while now. And so, I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, I'd like to know what you think about that. I'd like to pick your brain on that.
So, I mean, I can remember when this fantasy league got started, and I really didn't have a clue, 11 years ago what fantasy was all about.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys didn't. And it was just it was a ragtag team of guys. It was like me,
it was 8,
your brother, and then we kind of just brought like Ed, and we didn't know Silva that well back then, but Silva was Ed's buddy. And I think Cody worked with Liam. So it was just like, it wasn't like we were a tight-knit group that did a league. It was just like, hey, let's just do a league, and it kind of came together, and then the first year was good. And then what happened is over the next 10 years, everyone's became good friends. So people are, you can pick up – the thing I like about this league is you can pick up your phone at any time, probably call someone, and they'll pick up the phone and talk football with you.
Yeah.
So I think over the last 10 years, we've really tightened it up as the owners that are in this league, it's pretty much everyone's number one league. It might not be Silva's number one, but it's probably his number 2 or close to top. Mm-hmm. So when you got 12 guys and it's everyone's number one, it makes a very super competitive league. And we've kind of gotten rid of the guys that didn't like it that much, and we've plugged in guys that have been very good. And we've been doing that over the years. We brought in guys that didn't work out. They left, new guys came in.
Well, there's a waiting list. Like Reynolds talked about a waiting list.
Yeah. Yeah.
We legitimately have a waiting list of people that want to join the league. And I think when you have a combination of skill like we do with the ownership group now, and then you have the level of commitment that you're seeing from the ownership group, and then you're seeing the ways that we manage the different hurdles that we run into, whether it's COVID, whether it's scheduling, whether it's, changing up the consolation brackets, or even just the way that, at the end of the day, no one in this league should ever feel like there is going to be an unfair process in the way that we handle things.
Oh, I think everything's been very fair and everyone's really good. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just tightened up immensely. Everyone knows football. You can get trades done, which is a good thing. Like I'm in another league and I literally know 2 of the 10 guys in the league. So trying to get a trade done with someone you don't know,
Impossible.
it sucks.
No.
Actually, I just
Yeah.
got a trade done. I just randomly sent it and the guy hit accept. But yeah, as a whole, and the parody's awesome. Like every year.
Who would you say is the most improved owner? I have 2 actually, and they share the same name.
Well, that's Cody and Cody.
The sweet life of Cody and Cody.
Cody was like a non-football fan like 4 years ago, and then he's just kind of came in, and now he talks a little too much shit about his knowledge about football. He basically will just spit on your opinion of a guy and tell you why his guy's better using cherry pick data. But yeah, Cody's awesome. Powell's been really good, but like every time there's someone other than Liam who stays at the bottom. Like Nielsen's had a bit of a shitty run, but like this year they're first. So like,
who stays at the bottom? I mean,
you were last 2 years ago, and then you went to a championship. I was last year. I've rebuilt in this league, I think, twice now.
JV was 4th last year. Like, I mean, Ed was chirping him last night, saying, "Oh, you got Henry as he served his purpose." Yeah. And I was just kind of like, okay, you're 4th last year.
Yeah.
And so, like, he's in 10th. I mean, that's the thing in this league. When you're 0-5, the guy still logs into his account. He's still active.
Right.
And I think that it's that parity that allows you from year to year. And this is one of the reasons I'm not keen on introducing the FAB or the WAB, because it reduces parity. It would only allow me and you and guys that have the time and the insight to pull further ahead. Right. You know, if you said to me right now, on a weekly basis, you can allocate resources to get who you want off the waiver wire, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas now I can't do that, because if you win, you're at the bottom, right? So
it's just like a constant mixing bowl. The top.
It is.
And it's just like you're infusing the bottom teams, and then they rise, and then the teams that are dropping because of the rising of those teams then get a shot to infuse their teams. So it's just like a constant thing. So parity is amazing in this league. And the ownership is probably tighter than it's ever been in terms of there's always been 1 or 2 guys that were like, okay, he needs to go. I have my opinions on who could be more active. I'm not going to call anyone out, but
everyone's got their own
overall, style. It's good. It's a good, well-run league. We've kind of transitioned from like a weekly article, a matchup report. We've had guys, a few years back, I did the graphs of where people finished in points per year. And I remember Silva and Nielsen, they added something to it.
Liam did something like that too, I think.
And then you've always had your articles and the rankings. And now we've transitioned to a podcast, which is, everyone loves and likes. So the league's constantly evolving. The ownership's super tight and the parity's, top notch. So
good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
No, I'm with you on that, man. Let's so thanks for the question, Powell, and anyone else in the future. If you guys want to, continue to throw in your questions and if there's start sit or anything like that, like I said, we're happy to air that dirty laundry out on the cast. So I'm gonna switch here now to my favorite article or my favorite segment, and that's the Bet 365. This week we're gonna do the Sunday edition with the Wiz. So last week, obviously, it didn't go as planned. I think that who was it there? 1 second while I pull it up. The Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks were up 13-0, looking good, and then just went to absolute shit.
They were shit.
There was like a hit fumble that was called the wrong way. The Bucks were taking penalties. Brady forgot what down it was. Like it was a fucking gong show. Like
unbelievable.
That bet, the line was right for that bet. It should have, but the game just fell apart on me, and it happens.
Well, you know what? It happens. That's what I was going to say. No highway was without its little potholes, Sure,
so yeah, no, and
so
this week is difficult.
There's no Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So Thursday allows you to kind of isolate your focus and really hone in. And so, this week we're going to have to really cherry pick the different options here. So I'm going to just start with mine because again, mine are more buyer beware kind of thing.
Mhm.
I did have a great Tuesday. I ended up hitting on 3 different bets. Diggs over 77.5, and then I had Johnny on an anytime, and I had Derrick Henry on a second touchdown. So that was nice. I'm going to hold off on the anytime stuff, the player props right now.
Mhm.
And I'll just give you my 3. These are my 3 off the cuff, Dorian, that we just picked this morning. I'm a big fan of home dogs. I think if you're going to need points and you let them play at home, that's pretty advantageous. So what I'm choosing this week are the Eagles against the Raiders at home plus 7.5. That pays 1.9.
The Ravens.
I like the,
right?
yep.
Not the Raiders. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Ravens. Yep. My bad. And then the Jaguars at home against the Lions plus 3. That pays a juicy 2.05. And then you have to have a couple favorites in there if you want to be realistic. And so I'm taking the Chiefs on the road against the Bills on a short week. And that's paying me, that's minus 3.5 on the road, and that's paying me 1.9. So if you were to parlay those, that would pay you 7.28. And so if I put my standard $100, that would return me a $790
Nice.
in total. Okay.
Again, we were like hard week. It's a little early in the week yet because we'll get constant updates. But as of right now, where I see value, I just got a little blink that Odell Beckham was sent home today due to an undisclosed sickness.
I saw that.
Atlanta's shut down right now, the facility with COVID shit. So here's what I would say I like at this particular point in time. I like KC to beat the Bills in Buffalo, but I like KC to move the spread to -3, not 3.5.
Okay.
You can pull up that. It probably pays about 180 something, 183. So
I'm going to pull that up right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Packers money line to beat the Bucks in Tampa. After what the Bucks did last week, they just don't look organized. It's a bit of a scary bet, but the Packers are coming off a bye. Jones is looking good. Adams is back.
Yep.
And the Packers are undefeated. So even money for a pick 'em, lock it in.
Lock it in.
And I'm gonna probably. I'm gonna say I like your Jaguars pick. I would actually probably take that money line just for good value at 255. The Jags at home versus Detroit, who's looked kind of shit.
Yep.
But I'm not going to say that's my pick, but I do like that. And I'm going to say Pittsburgh -3 versus the Browns. Divisional games, I know they're always close, but Pittsburgh's looked really good. Roethlisberger seems to hit his stride. The game's in Pittsburgh.
They look elite, man. That offense looks fired up.
Yeah, and I like Pittsburgh, and they've always beaten the Browns. They play them really hard. So that's it. Pittsburgh.
So, yeah, I'm going to recap this for you. So we have a couple different odds coming up here. So I'm just going to pick it as if I was going to bet it. So if we were to take the Chiefs at your adjusted alternative spread of -3, that comes in at 1.72. And then the second bet was Green Bay -1 in that pick'em, and that's a 1.95, which I just love. I think that's fantastic. And then if we took the Steelers -3 at 1.83, that total is 6.18. So if you guys were wanting to parlay that, $100 bet would get you 618 in total return. If you were to pick one of those games, Dorian, which one would it be? Your doom pick of the week?
I'll probably go Packers.
Okay, and that's the one that I'm weary of because I'm a Packers fan. But I mean,
I know I'm a Packers fan this year, but Rodgers has been just lights out. He's getting his big weapon back. Tanyan looks good. The running games look good. They're coming off bye. They're well rested. They're healed up.
Yep.
And the Bucs looked fucking garbage last week. Tom Brady does not look comfortable. They have all the weapons to be a very good team, but they're just not clicking yet, And that's something New England's always done well. When he was in New England, they didn't need the best team, but they always clicked well. Bill Belichick, It was like, this is your job, do your job.
Yep.
And then Arians kind of made this like super team, but like it's just not, who's the running back, is it?
They're dealing with injury. They're dealing with roster rebalancing. I mean, you're absolutely right. Who's running the ball? Godwin's been hurt. Evans is playing hurt. Scotty Miller is non-existent. O.J. Howard's out for the season. Gronk looks like a janitor running down the field.
Gronk looks bad.
He looks terrible.
Fournette's been hurt. There's been a carousel of running backs. Is it Shady's backfield? Is it Fournette's backfield? Is it like it just nobody knows, you know?
Just as an aside, so we've got your 3 picks, we've got your doom, but what if we went ahead and said we really like the Packers? So what if we went ahead and said, let's give them a 6.5? Let's just say you liked them as a touchdown.
Yeah.
I know they're not getting that kind of love, but if you were to do something ballsy like that, that's a 2.75.
Yeah.
Like that's almost 3, and I'm looking at it like they're not going to win by 1 point.
No, that's
I'll
true.
know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even if you were to pop it to 2.5, that pops you to 2.15, or 3 puts you to 2.2. So I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, do your due diligence, boys. Dorian the Wiz has given you a trail of breadcrumbs to go get those cash bags. I think there's a lot of different ways you can skin that cat, but I really like where you're going with that, Dorian.
So here's why I love our league, and this is a little bit of a sidebar. So the other Yahoo league I was talking about, that's like my 2 league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who this guy is. His name's Zeke and Destroy. Just sent me a trade.
Decent name.
I want you to fucking listen to this trade. I don't know if he's doing
it. Okay.
He just sent me Russell Gage and a 3 for Lamar Jackson and a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I don't even want to see it. I can see it now, yeah. Okay. I mean, even if he sent you Russell Gage and a 1, okay, for Lamar Jackson.
He's fucking
Is
lost.
it a keeper league?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many keepers? How many keepers off the board?
4.
All right.
10 4 keeper.
40 players are off the board. So you're getting a 5th round pick if you get the 1, but you're getting a 3rd. So you're getting an 8th round pick or 7th round pick for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That guy needs to be deleted from your phone. You need to block him permanently.
I wish I could, but I don't know who he is. So I hope he watches this. I'm going to send this podcast to that league and just be like, hey, guys, here's some insight. Zeke and Destroy, go fuck your hat. I got to track this down. He needs to be abolished from the fucking league.
Let's carry on, Dorian. While you're doing that, I want to jump right to the Week 6 slate of games that we have in front of us, and there is some juicy action. I'm going to kick it right off with I think the league is looking forward to this just based on the readings I did in the chat. I mean, Powell and Cody Powell and Chad have just been setting the table on this match this week.
They go head to head.
Well, and just so everyone knows, Powell's been planning for this since last week when he went and grabbed Tannehill because he knew that Chad was going to need a quarterback. So we're looking at some second-level moves being done here.
Chess, not checkers.
Exactly, man. The stakes for this one, the big guy in Powell and the bad guy in Chad. Chad's 4-1, and Powell is 2-3. So obviously, if Powell wins and goes to 500, that's huge. If Chad wins, he goes to 5-1, and he's going to be eyeing up a bye week. So, who do you like in that one?
Chad.
I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, I think what's NFL.com got it at right now. I think it's looking like a
Lamb Cups.
He doesn't have a quarterback in Chad as of yet. Chad, if you need a quarterback, Andy Dalton's available for sale. But let's just say he got 23.
Chad's got some buy problem. I didn't look at that. He's got Waller out. Wilson's the big one.
Yeah.
Sanders, who's been kind of looking good.
I mean, Dorian, if I'm looking at this team right now with Chad.
Oh boy, Gronkowski, Chad. Wakey. Oh boy. Listen.
Oh boy.
I need to make a move for a tight end. I'm rocking Jared Cook, who's a beast, and I'm rocking Tanyan, who's a beast. So
Chad, get your hands on a Jared Cook, man. What are you doing, man?
I don't think that helps them this week because they're on bye, but
okay. I see.
Gronkowski?
I'm going to go against you on this pick, man. I truly think that as the Steelers offense goes, so does Powell right now. He's got James Conner and Ben Roth.
Chad's got Claypool in, though. So that
I don't think he's going to see another 4 touchdowns. I think you're going to see a Juju boss game. If Deontay Johnson comes back, then he might make an appearance as well. So any team that has Blankenship on it is a team that I'm going to
Blanky.
blanky blank.
What do they call him? That other Blanky blank. What are his followers? The Blank.
I don't know. The
Blankenship.
battle. You sunk my Blankenship.
Oh man.
Okay, so that's a good one. I think that's the one I'm going to be watching other than mine. You know, on Sundays, I have my computers. Most of the time you and I are watching it, and I'm usually jumping between 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So I think that's one. The next match we've got is my brother against Jake. And I mean, I know for Jake, he's got this one circled, you know, with Cody making such a statement in the 2020 season, it's hard not to, you know, have a target on your back when you're 4-1. So Jake's resurgent, and let's take a peek here. So I personally, I think
Cody's
that
team looks as healthy as it ever has.
I was just going to say, I personally think that Cody's got the leg up here. He's got Philip Lindsay back and ready to assume the starting role. Steph Diggs is just taken over. And if Josh Allen gets right, which he probably will, and with a game script in his favor, I don't see a Marvin Jones in the flex and a Chase Edmonds as an RB2 for Jake getting it done.
Yeah, he's without Ruggs and Jacobs. Jacobs has been a bit of a workhorse for him, so Cody's just been scooting through. I kept saying, you know what, I'm not gonna go against Cody anymore until he starts losing. So I'm gonna say Cody edges Jake out in this one.
I'm actually in agreement with you. I think Cody,
Josh Allen on a Monday nighter could be good,
especially at 5 p.m. Man, you get to be in bed at a decent time. So,
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So there's that. So we both gave our verdicts on that. The next one is the dynamic duo of Nielsen and Silva taking on streaking Adam Rose. Where do you sit with that game?
Let's see who's got who out. Yeah, I mean, God, Rosie has some work to do, man.
Well, he's got
Brees
Stafford to
on
slide into.
bye.
He's
Yeah.
got Stafford, yeah, and then I think he's probably going to be putting Jeff
Metcalf on
Smith.
bye, Jeff Smith going in. This just looks.
T. Higgins.
This looks like a heavy Silva Nielsen win.
I think so too. I think that this is just a continuance of the rebuild for Rosie. So he's still looking for his first win, unfortunately, but he's had some good weeks. That's why I put that 100+ note. Like, let's be honest, the chances of a team that has Mahomes as its quarterback losing, they're low. The guy just continues to churn out monstrous weeks, right?
Yeah.
So Diesel versus the Beard. I mean, where do we start? You've got a great name change. Bend it like Beckham this week. I think that you're fully armed and ready to go outside of Lockett and Julio. So if Julio and Lockett don't go, then you know you've got to put some guys in. Melvin Gordon, I mean, you've done a great job of getting your hands on Aaron Jones. So you know, I don't think you're going to feel the loss of MG as much as you probably think.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is going to probably put up 30 points. So
I think I'm a little too Packer dependent again. I can't have Jones, Tanyan, and Rodgers. It's somewhere. Someone's got to not eat. You know what I mean? Like if Jones is killing it, like unless it just goes to those two guys. But like, you know, like I said, Adams is back this week, so he's gonna get targets. I really, really, honestly love Tanyan, but I think he's got to go. I just got to wait for him to have another couple good weeks so someone can see some value in him because he's not worth a drop at this point. I probably wouldn't have started him but Jared Cook's also on bye, so I have to. I'm kind of handcuffed with my roster right now. But
I've got Adams, right? So, I mean, I've got that situation where I'm just hoping that Adams goes off because if Rodgers continues to look at Tanyan, then you're going to have a chance to do some damage there. Your team this week is running into my team without Kamara or Cook.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's good.
Yep. And
but
so
your handcuff game's strong.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone ahead and insured the entire thing, right? I basically went to Allstate and said, I want your top tier running back package. And it consisted of a Latavius Murray and an Alexander Madison. So Madison's going to roll for me. I mean, it's not close on paper, but I am not confident, man. I literally am looking like Cam Akers had a great game in his return last week. You've got him as your flex. If we were to do a cross, like who wins what position, it's probably in my favor. But again, man, like Lamar Jackson has not been consistent over 20 points in our league.
It's going to come down to my receiving core. Who's ready to go, who's not. Because Julio's been battling this hamstring all week. Beckham just left practice today, and Alshon hasn't seen any fucking action yet. That's my 3 receiver spots. Bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
If even 2 of those guys aren't good to go, or one of them, I don't even have a receiver right now I can slot in. Cook's on bye, Lockett's on bye, Gordon's probably looking at suspension, Angler's on bye, Joe Burrow's is quarterback, and then I got my kicker Lutz, and then I got 2 IR spots. So I don't even have a receiver to plug into one spot. So that's going to be a huge, huge factor for me.
Jesus, man. What are you going to do?
I'll have to do what I always do.
Aguilar will
Pinky.
have to be dropped, maybe.
Yeah, drop a kicker, drop Aguilar. I guess, yeah. I don't know. Like,
well, I don't think we should be picking winners in this. I'll leave that to the fans, but
I think you have the edge. I think you should beat me, but
we'll see, man. Like I said, Aaron Jones.
1 or 2 guys puts up a good week, then yeah, changes.
The next game is Loudon. Is he there still?
Loudon's here. Yep.
Yeah. Does he still have his hat on? Bring him right in so everybody can see. There he is. Hey, bro, you looking sad, man. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. This week, you get to
win
play
this week?
Reynolds.
Oh, he said
Shoo-doon. You're gonna beat Reynolds this week, bro. Hey, you want to trade for the Red Rocket?
Ooh, Loudon. Go get yourself a ready.
He's just silent right now. He's a silent type.
Strong
So he plays Reynolds, and this is where it really gets interesting, man. When I start to look at playoff odds and those types of things, this is really when I start to do that. And the teams that are 3-2 and 2-3, it's the most stressful. If you're 4-1 and you lose and you go 4-2, you're still right there. You're not going to drop off much. Yeah. If you're 3-2, which Loudon is, and you're playing a team that's 2-3, like Reynolds is, that literally is a 2-game swing. If you were to lose to a guy that's chasing you, you're now tied with him, and he has the tiebreaker. It's one of the most high stakes games, if you ask me, on the docket this week.
That's
it really, to me, is that swing game. So I'm just pulling up the projection. So this is a good game. We're looking at a 6-point difference projected from NFL.com. As Reynolds mentioned on air, he's got a couple quarterbacks, so we could see some differences there. But if he puts Cam in with the lower projection, that's going to make it a 4-point spread.
Has anyone suffered a bigger loss at a position than Loudon losing Dak?
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't really talk about that. I didn't know how much bad karma that would bring to us, but I don't think so, man. I mean, when you go from Dak Prescott to Gardner Minshew, that sucks. That really does suck. I think that Dak was his piece. And so here's the group of us that are all in this arms race acquiring studs, and he's kind of going the other way. And Dak is he's toast. So I don't know, man. I mean, what do you think about Gardner? Do you think he can get it done?
I don't know. I just feel like he's too much.
He's had some good weeks, man. He's had a 30-point week, 35-point week. Then he had a 9-point week.
I just feel like he's too much razzled down. Like, there's too much about him. Like, people like him for the wrong reasons. It's like, oh, he's funny. He wears fucking jean shorts and has like a Fu Manchu, like, and he has a mullet and he wears like he wears Pit Viper glasses. He's a legend. But it's like, okay, like I understand all that, but like, is he a top 12 quarterback in this league? And my answer for that is no, he's not.
He's definitely not.
Some people will, argue that, but Yeah, I just feel like I haven't looked, but I feel like there's probably a better start for him, you know?
Well, I'm trying to move him, Andy Dalton. So, like I said, get at me, bro, because there's definitely something there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he can put up points, but like
He's got a great team, and I mean, in terms of where he's at in the overall breakdown rankings, he's second. So, I mean, it's not like he's incapable. I look at that blow, like you said, and Jonathan Taylor needs to get it going, and Chris Godwin may or may not come back. Raheem Mostert needs to get it going. I mean, he's come back from injury, so he gets a little bit of leash, but
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, good luck to both you guys. I've personally got it going. I think I'll go Reynolds. I was flip flopping, but I think I'll go Reynolds on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Reynolds too, just to look good karma there. He's doing the quarterback waiver weekly play. I like that.
The carousel, yeah, he's got that carousel going. Yeah,
it's scary. What do you do when you get into the playoffs and you're just like
Wow.
hoping someone has a good matchup? But
it's like a goaltending situation like that, man. You get into the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's like, well, we got 3 guys. Maybe we roll the dice. Like,
Have you looked at your QB's playoff matchups yet?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, they're decent.
They're decent,
but
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking.
Rodgers, but...
I'm a quarterback guy though, but I look at it and I go, my best chance of winning at this point, the way that Lamar's been throwing it, is to have a running back in that position. So I just want him to start taking off. He had that one big run, and then he had 3 rushing yards last week, man.
Yeah,
that's not going to get it done. Not with his arm.
Yeah, he's not playing like himself, or what we thought was himself.
Well, we'll see, man. Like I said, I'm selling him at the end of the season. So if someone's got an eye for him, then we can definitely work something.
3.
Jesus Christ, man, that's disgusting. All right, in the last match, that we don't really have to spend too much time on it, Dorian, but the last match is Justin Valdez against Craig. So it's basically a battle of the basement. I mean, both teams really probably want to be losing at this point.
You think JV is a seller yet?
I think that he's got some pieces that could definitely be attractive. The problem with JV is he likes to deliberate, right? So even that Derrick Henry trade, it took some time. So not as long as the Kamara trade, but my point is, he's got guys like Brandon Ayuk. He's got guys like James Robinson, a new man in Deshaun Watson without the handcuff of Bill O'Brien. Darrell Henderson, who knows what he has. And he's got guys like Keenan Allen. I mean, he's in a better position to rebuild than Craig is at this point. He's got a nice mix of youth and veteran and some upside with guys like Ayuk. So, but this is essentially the battle of the rebuild, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I wish I had to play one of these guys this week, because last week was pretty much a guaranteed loss, and then I get my team kind of half back, and now I got to face a top team in the league, which can put me to a 500 team, which is like it's a hard place to be going into the second quarter of the season to be.
I still think of you as that top tier. Like, if we're talking about the top tier league, it's guys that could scare me. It's and even though my brother did beat me, and all kudos to him, his team doesn't scare me when I look at it on paper. But and Chad's team doesn't necessarily scare me either, although Russell Wilson's a beast. But teams like yours and teams like the duo, the upside is immense, right? So
yeah, the upside, that's the big thing, and that's kind of where I've been this year too. Is like, it's hard to, because COVID could end this season, really.
I know.
If we're serious about it, I mean, it could end.
If it got
NFL.
bad.
Yeah, it could.
If it got bad.
So when you go, and I go and make it a trade like a guy for Aaron Jones, who he might not be even a keeper on my team this year, and I gave up, pick equity.
Yep.
So if I give up pick equity, this season doesn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Jones is not usable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have those picks. Now I drop him.
Mm-hmm.
That puts a whole spin on how next year looks. And I think some guys might be thinking about that, like
Loudon and I talked about this, man. Yeah. He's still got full leverage. And, it's one of those things. Him and I didn't specifically touch on the season ending, but we definitely talked about what it means to have those moves still available to you, Yeah. And so you, me, my brother, Jake, Silva, we've all kind of moved our assets on. And there's a whole bunch of guys sitting there going, well, we just don't know yet, Yeah. So
I think I would do another move where I would sell a big piece at this point. Because like I'm playing for this year and I want to win, but I know that my good years are probably maybe next year or the year after if I can really have if I can get Cam Akers developing where he needs to be, if Joe Burrow could step into a nice little sophomore season, be younger and competitive and get some more. So I'm kind of like on the fence, like 60% this year, 40% next year. So like, if someone came to me with the right deal for a running back, like I would remove Jones or remove a David Johnson, no problem, because like I really don't even, this year's not even for sure yet, really, like.
You remind me of my team when I was rebuilding, because my record was worse than yours, but I had such key pieces that just weren't ready yet. I had Cook coming off an ACL.
Yeah.
I had Kamara dealing with injury. I had Rodgers that wasn't Marquis Rodgers. And so I had a team. I had Devontae Adams who was doing his thing, but there was one guy. And so when I look at your team now, you are further ahead than I was in that down year. But I totally get what you're saying. Now I see Dalvin Cook as untradeable. I almost moved Dalvin Cook that year, right? So he just wasn't ready yet. Cam Akers isn't quite ready yet. But when he is, there's got to be that crescendo for you where it all kind of comes together,
That would be nice. That will be what I'm looking forward to. All right, let's move this along here.
Some trade reviews. We've talked a couple of them, but there's a few others I'd like to get to, especially because I want to hear what you have to say. So we talked about the Darius Slayton and Damian Harris one. The one that I'm really interested to hear what you have to say is the Drake Mixon Juju 8, 9, 10, 11 for Travis Kelce 1 through 4.
Yeah, I didn't even know that trade was happening. I knew Silva was kicking things around the ring, but that actually could have worked out a lot different. Had I had known Craig was getting Kelce right before I pulled the trigger, because I heard he was talking to Silva, but like blah, blah, blah. I didn't know what Silva wanted. I assumed Juju and maybe Mixon. So I was kind of like, well, I don't want Mixon that bad. If Silva will pay you, you can have Mixon. I'll throw a hat in with Jones, but Powell was talking Jones, but I guess he couldn't pull the trigger. Had I had known that trade went through seconds before I accepted Aaron Jones when I was in the car, I would have tried to do a bigger deal and actually I would have moved Tanyan in the deal for Kelce and then maybe gave better picks, maybe more picks, because I handcuffed myself by not being able to have the picks available after the fact. So it could have actually been a bigger deal if I had known. For Silva and Nielsen, though, I think that trade – I think it's awesome. I think they're better. They're selling out. They're going for it this year, and I like seeing that. I mean, I'm not sold 100% on Mixon yet. I know we talked about it earlier, but I didn't like his stat lines. He was facing mediocre defenses and putting up 4s and 5s and 6s, and he had a big week. So his overall total number looks good. But when I broke it down game by game, I was like, he barely fits into my flex if he's putting up those numbers on average. And
same with Drake, man.
Kenyon Drake, yeah, I'm not
He's
like,
toast,
man. Kenyon.
They gave him a 1-year deal. And so he's playing himself out of a job. I don't know. When you watch the Arizona games, man, like when they flash up on Red Zone, Chase Edmonds he jumps off the page, man.
Yeah, he does.
Kenyon Drake looks like Frank Gore.
Yeah, so Kenyon and Mixon, I think, is better than Kenyon. I think Kenyon's good
Big
for
time.
Craig for getting rid of him. But the other part of that trade is Juju. Juju was looking good, but then the week Juju gets traded, Claypool looks like the new star in Pittsburgh.
He does,
I think Juju's still the guy there, but Silva sold out early. He went to the first guy that was selling everything, gave away his draft, and I hope it works out for him. But I think Craig's doing the right thing.
So do I, man.
I'm glad
we put him on blast, right? I mean, anyone that follows us, follows Diesel and the Beard. I mean, we put him on blast. It was a candid conversation about what we thought that he probably should do. And, I messaged you off air that I truly believe that our critique or our conversations are helping some of these owners see the error in their ways or see the opportunity.
Well, I think we have an opportunity to put it in more perspective. When you're writing something, it's hard to write a lot and be clear and concise of why. I can't just be like, Craig's shit, he should dump his team. Because then Craig is going to go, well, I'm not shit because this, and this. But when we get to have a tough conversation about it and we get to find out this is what he could do, these are the opportunities available. This works, this guy's not that good. And once you kind of hear another perspective in it, I think it just it lets you kind of go where you want to go. I mean, we're not
Confirms
making
or whatever,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you have an idea in your head, but if you hear someone else say it, you can confirm your idea. You can go against it, or if any, the worst case, it gives you another view on or perception on something. So
yeah, I think he panicked, but I'm totally on board with the move. I don't think he has a great selection of keepers, but it's so early. I mean, we've got a full season left still, or full half season. So
yeah, and look what I did last year. I restocked the pond after the season was done.
I know, man.
Like everything.
I know.
Yeah, that's when you get them.
So who do you think won that trade?
I mean, they're both kind of going for different things, so it's hard to say. Like Silva's a better team because of it, but I think so is Craig. He's just not good now. He's going to be good next year because of it. So how do you? They're two guys. It's not like both are competing to win a championship. So it's like, who do I think won that trade? Well, I think that trade will get this team further along, or that trade will get this team further along. They're both going for, they both won. And I know it's the ultimate cliche win-win, but Craig's trying to dump his pieces for the max amount of picks. And Craig got the picks he wanted, and Silva filled out all his depth. Silva's a more competitive team now because of it. Craig gets to truly rebuild because of it. So how do you pick a winner? I think Silva could have done more with those picks had he waited for another couple buyers, and he had some leverage to be like, well, you want to give me Mixon, Drake, and this guy, but I could go to Valdez and get, XYZ for this price. So you didn't, he just gave what he had and took what he got, and that was it.
Yeah, I think both of them could have had a little more success with some patience, but I totally get it. I mean, people are panicking, especially, I mean, Sunday morning was insane. I'm sitting there rubbing Meg's calves, her pregnant calves, and all of a sudden my phone is just brr, 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 trades. Like I'm literally getting to Facebook, the wall to post the one, and then the Aaron Jones one drops, and I'm just like, Jesus, this is like, I'm in Times Square just being spun around by trade buses. Like it was just crazy, man.
I was driving my car, and then I get the news that the Bronco game's not happening. So I'm like on the waiver wire, just trying to scrounge up anything to shove into a spot on my team. Like the whole COVID thing's dynamic that it's adding. It's just like,
it's insane,
you just got to think on your toes and take risks and gambles. You got to drop guys you don't really want to drop just to fill a slot somewhere for a guy that's probably going to put up less than 3 points. Like it's fucked.
Well, I'm going to just, before we close it down here, I want to just say quickly here, the game's changed. There was conversation around, maybe some rule changes or accommodations. Here's the thing. I'm not going to tell anyone how to run their team, okay? But if you stack teams onto your roster, there's already risk. You've already taken on some risk just through the way that works. Now with COVID, if that risk was something before, it's quadrupled now, because if that team doesn't play unexpectedly, you lose them. It's a zero across the board. And so, there was some consternation or whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, you choose how you build your roster. And so there will be no rule changes mid-season. We've introduced some COVID protocols, and I think that's a welcome conversation, because I don't believe anyone should be sideswiped because of COVID.
Yeah.
But if you're going to sit there and pretend that you didn't have any risk by tripling or quadrupling, it would be like you getting screwed out of the Packers.
Yeah, I'd be fucked.
Because of COVID, but then you're sitting there blaming it on COVID. It's like, I mean, there is a role to be had for COVID in this, but at the end of the day, you have 4 guys from the same team, or 3 guys. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. I get it. You got to minimize
approach it differently.
Yeah, you got to be diversified, right? Like that's just in everything in life. And like I'm fucked. If the Packers get COVID, I'm fucked. You can take me.
But you know that. You can't
come
to me afterwards and be like, hey, man, like I'm fucked. We should have a rule change. It's like,
what would the rule change even be?
I don't know, man. There was discussion in the group, and I just had no time for it because of 2 things. A, you chose to build your team that way. No one else chose that. And B, I've been dealing with this for 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
I lost Pittsburgh D. I lost my kicker. I mean, I was literally fucked. And so I had to make moves. I had to start Julian Edelman. I didn't want to start that bum, But anyways, I think all I'm trying to say here for the whole league is that we're in a different era. This is a new game. They're different rules. We're all playing by the same rules, but they're different now. And so, handcuffs, bye-week options, these are things that you don't want to necessarily spend time on, but you need to be carving some time out for that, I think, if you want to compete.
Yeah, no, I agree, man.
Anything else you want to chat about before we call it a day?
What did you think of the other trades?
So I'll tell you right now, your trade, I mean, you and I, Dorian, we talked about the Aaron Jones possibility, and I said to you, like, off air, I was like, that's the only move you can make right now in our league that is going to arm you, like, in the arms race. You know, you were Russia, you know, the US is over here stocking up. You got Germany stocking up. You got, you know, some of the big players in Korea stocking up. And then you just come along and you're like, I'll take the last available high-end nuclear warhead. I'll take that Aaron Jones right there. You know, because
I kept saying I need a top 10 back.
Well, was there anyone else available in your mind? I mean,
there was. Top? So I would look at the top 10. I just sorted by points, like who's the top 10 back. Okay, you got 1 and 2, Kamara and Cook.
Okay.
You're not probably trading him. You're going for another banner. And even if you were trading him, I would have to give up so much of the rest of my team that bringing in that back wouldn't actually have helped me.
Right.
Third on that list is Aaron Jones.
Right.
So behind. And he's got a bye week. So, like, he's still third on the list, and he's had his bye week. So, he's still kind of killing it. Then right after him goes Zeke. Loudon's not moving Zeke.
No.
Especially with Dak hurt, and it could become a more Zeke-heavy offense.
Yeah.
He's had him since he drafted him. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Chris Carson at 5, who I had him, traded him to Reynolds. Reynolds offered him to me pre-draft. The price was too high.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Carson in Seattle, to be honest. I love the numbers he's putting up. I do like Seattle, but, like, is Carson a guy you're going to build a team around? Probably.
I don't know.
After him is Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's in a great position right now, but for how long? When Chubb comes back, I don't really want to have Chubb or Hunt if it's me. And I know everyone can say, well, look at their numbers before and after. Look how it finished last year. But from this standpoint, Jones is the guy in Green Bay. Hunt is not the guy in Cleveland, and neither is Chubb. They're splitting time, they're splitting carries, and it could go either way. Then after that's Josh Jacobs, who I would love, but he's struggled a little bit, and Jake's not moving Josh Jacobs. I've already had that conversation. Yeah. Then it goes Gurley, who's old, and Atlanta's in all fucking kinds of trouble. And Gurley, again, he's maybe a one-year play. He might just take the rest of the year off. When they go 0-5, the team might blow up. I'm hearing rumors of Julio moving to possibly New England, or there was another place, New England or somewhere else that would have been good for him. Green Bay? That would be crazy. I'm hearing Matt Ryan might be getting traded. Like, I'm hearing Atlanta.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Gurley is just fucked. And then down to Derrick Henry, which you also have, which you're just like, for me to come over the top and pay more than what you paid would, again, just put me. So there's the top 10 running back. Oh, and James Robinson, which, again, I don't mind.
How does that deal look now, man? The James Robinson for Henry swap.
Yeah, I mean, Valdez, I think.
Look at that. Like, not to bring up a dead horse, but, like, for him to be 10th and Henry 9th, I mean, that's...
And get all that equity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I looked at that, and I was like, the only thing that makes sense for me is Jones, unfortunately, because I really didn't want another Packer. So now that I have Jones, I would seriously consider moving him for pretty much anyone in the top 5 other than Carson. Like, I would do a Zeke deal. I'd do a Cook deal. I'd do a Kamara deal. I would do a Jacobs deal. And
do you know what's sick? Do you know what's sick, Dorian? Not sorry to interrupt you there, pal, but those top 3 running backs were my 3 running backs for my championship last year.
That's disgusting.
That's man, honestly, good for you.
Kept them, dropped Lamar, and redrafted.
Lamar, man, it would have been. I should have done it. It was the move to make, but you know what?
Lamar looked lights out last year, man. He was.
I know.
He was.
I want to say on this trade, though, man. Honestly, we did talk about it, and when I saw it come down, I wasn't even mad. You know, it was one of those things. I was like, he's come home. You know, because I got him from you originally.
Yeah.
And it really was the only way. You know, it's making it fun for everyone, you know, having this arms race. And so
where did I get him originally? I think he got dropped. Was he dropped?
I don't know.
2 years ago?
It would have been 2 years ago because
I drafted him. You traded for him right after the draft. You had him. You traded him back to me.
No, I traded him back to Craig. Or no, did I trade him to you?
Wait.
No, I traded him to Craig.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We talked about him coming back to me, and then Craig moved him back to me.
Well, you've kind of been on that whole fence of like, well, you know, I don't want to have too many Packers, and so you know, when I got that in my head, it was like, okay, and then you know, but anyways, I think that I think that either way, you're in a good position now, man. I mean, I don't think there's any way that, you know, you're able to get that type of caliber of player. Like if you look at what it would cost you to get Zeke, or what it would cost you to get Dalvin Cook, or what it would cost you to get, you know, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And then you look at what you paid for Aaron Jones. I mean,
it was great value. I honestly
dude,
do.
you won that trade hands down, zero question. I mean, you paid way less than you should have. That guy's worth a 1 through 5.
Yeah.
A 1 through 5 and a young player. And instead, you sent a 1-3-3. I mean, it's close. Jerry Jeudy is a great youth player. I love it.
I do
really
like
love
Jeudy.
it.
And honestly, if someone came to me asking for what Jeudy was worth, it wouldn't quite be a 1 through 5, but it would start with a 1 and a 2 for sure. Like a 1, 2, 3 would get it done for me. So, and I told Greg that. I said, like, listen, Jeudy was part of my – I wanted to go into next year with Burrows, Akers, and Jeudy. Those are my 3 guys. So the fact he got Jeudy out of me, you know, that part sucked a bit. But, again, Aaron Jones. And the other thing, I might not even keep Jones. So
yeah, exactly. So you might even just cash out. Yeah.
But, yeah, open to trades. Loudon, if you want to do a Zeke deal, I need to get rid of a Packer. Jones has more points in less games. Let me know.
He needs a quarterback too. That could be a juicy little trade there. You should get him on the old Scarecrow phone and see what's up.
The old Scarecrow phone. Yeah, fuck a quarterback. I don't know. He wants a guy who's doing stuff now. I might actually move Burrows.
Well, let's talk off air, bro.
Oh boy. All right, what else do we have to cover?
You know, I was gonna talk about Lev Bell's landing spot, but you know, I think that we should talk about that next week after he's landed.
I hope he goes to Buffalo just to fuck Cody over after Cody laughed in my face about Gordon and Philip Lindsay. I
think he's wanting to play against the Jets, so that's why the Buffalo or the Miami choice is there. And then KC's just, you know, kind of championship or bust. But let's I'm going to circle that one, Dorian, and let's revisit that after he's made a decision, because one of 3 owners is going to get fucked in this league. Jake, because he has Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Chad, because he has Myles Gaskin. Or my brother, because he has Devin Singletary. One of you 3, Rosie, is going to, you know, make a poo-poo in your own pants, kind of
unless Rosie cashes out now, which I think he should. Rosie.
He's going to. I know you were sending the messages. So.
Oh yeah, I will take the gamble.
Knock if you're with me.
I love taking gambles on guys like that. It's boom or bust. He goes to Miami, I drop him right away, and my picks are already gone. Or if he goes to KC in 3 weeks, I could have another fucking stud running back. I don't know.
I think what's going to happen, though, is when he makes the move, if someone's backfield does get screwed, he might be able to sell them to that guy. So.
Rosie's been a little hard to deal with, to be honest.
I think he's hesitant. He doesn't know which direction to go yet. So, believe me, him and I talk, and I know that he's got some. I figure
you talk to him more than anybody, so I'm surprised there hasn't been a deal there yet. But
because he's good, man. Because he's good. He's not going to get steamrolled. He's, you know, I've given offers. He's given offers. We haven't been able to meet in the middle, but I'm confident that if someone goes to him with the right deal, there is a deal to be had. So,
all right. Well, good luck.
I think that's good, Norm. We probably ran a little long this week, eh?
Yeah, that's fine. People can skip through it if they are annoyed, but there's a lot to unpack every week. You know, you got to talk about 12 teams, 12 matchups, bringing on Reynolds so he can have his say, real life NFL, then waiver wires, trades. There's
a lot. Yeah, for sure. And it's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah, it's good. Get to my daily take of football, and there's no Thursday night game tonight, so now the guys have something to listen to. Is there anything good on?
There might be baseball. I'm gonna be
I've
playing some Madden. We should do a draft.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. Should watch do a draft. And in other news, the Lakers. No, I'm just joking. Who's the GOAT, Bron or Jordan?
I'm not even going to go there, man. It's not even a conversation. They only do documentaries on GOATs. There hasn't been any documentaries on LeBron. So, peace on that.
That is peace. All right, gentlemen. I guess officially the Beard and Diesel signing off for your Week 8 rundown and preview. And until
Week 6, but yeah, we'll do Week 8 in a couple weeks too.
It's the 8th episode, and it's Week 6. So
thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, it's been a pleasure, Diesel. One last thing, if you want to join us, let's get you on.
Yeah, let's get someone up next week. We probably do it around noonish again. So if you have some free time, let us know. We'll bring you on the cast, and you can air your grievances to the league.
Until next time, the Beard
Peace.
signing off. Cheers.
Welcome to this week's episode of Diesel and the Beard.